So I was just thinking about this topic today as it came to me again because my day was pretty busy again, pretty hectic, that I didn't have much time to, to myself, to be taking breaks and, pausing, to have those pausing moments. And often I just find myself pushing and pushing and pushing and doing and doing and doing until I'm really, feeling stressed out. And once again, of course, it's a reminder about my own boundaries and self-care practices. To remind myself that it's okay to take a breather, it's okay to have a break and all of that. But of course, when I'm dealing with things that I just want solved immediately, that I want to handle ASAP, then it's pretty difficult sometimes if I have days like this. Luckily, these days don't happen all the time, and I have been doing everything that I can to be able to manifest my days to just be calm and peaceful and happy, As I walk my talk, what I share with my clients and followers, what I teach, is of course what I have to do myself, and usually, of course, I'm doing, but I'm human too, and I make mistakes too. So of course, I can have different days that that's apparently require more from me than I expected, and it brings me a lot of thoughts, downloads, intuitive nudges, and all of those feelings, etc. So maybe you resonate with this. Hopefully you do resonate with this. As a fellow empath, highly sensitive person, if you have also been having busy, hectic, stressful days that you feel like you can't catch a break, you just want to do your best and have things solved as soon as possible, as easily as possible, as quickly as possible. But yeah, it can be a lot of pressure sometimes, especially if you are just now healing after narcissistic abuse experiences. So I just want to share this support as well. But yeah, so once again, if these things happen, it is just a reminder to just step back and have that breather, or whatever you want to call it. Have a break. Remember to take care of yourself. Remember that you don't always have to be responding to everybody, because you might be so used to abuse, you might be so used to pleasing others that you just forget about yourself, you forget about your own needs. And even more so if you're dealing with difficult people who don't seem to hear you out when you try to speak your mind. It can be very difficult, it can be a lot of pressure. And of course, what we have to do is come back to peace, as always. Come back to your own energy, come back to your own alignment and peace. Ground yourself, That is what you have to do. But sometimes it's not so simple. We can have these days that things don't seem to be so simple. But I guess that's life. Things happen. And there are things that we can control and some things we cannot. But this thought just came to me that when you've been abused a lot in your life, for example, if it started when you were a child, it can have such a long-term effect on your life. That's if you encounter more difficult people, more difficult situations, it can feel intolerable. You know, it can feel like it's just impossible to be dealing with these sorts of situations, and if people don't seem to communicate well with you, understand you, support you the way you want them to, or something like that. But I guess it's just a part of the process. As a sensitive empath, highly sensitive person, as you live through your life, have different days, it's just part of the whole process of learning and remembering to, you know, come back to your own center again, to be believing in yourself, in your own abilities, loving and accepting yourself, knowing your worth, knowing where you stand. So even if there's an issue with somebody, as you practice coming to peace more often, it gets easier, because we need to be able to practice peace daily. I guess that's that's my point with this video. To come back to alignment with yourself, to come back to your peace, to ground yourself again, no matter what happened in a day or in a week or whatever. Sometimes it's just very difficult. Like I said, it's important to acknowledge that it's okay to feel what you feel. You know, what happens, happens. But the more you have been put down by others, naturally, it creates more pressure, and your brain is wired to expect certain outcomes, which are not very positive, naturally, because if you've been abused, you are used to things not working out. You are used to negative energy from others, which is it's not healthy, it's not natural. And that is a cycle that you want to grow out from, you know, to heal out from. Because, you know, your life is supposed to be balanced and peaceful and happy and healthy and joyful. We are supposed to have joy in our lives every day. Now, how can we have that if we have toxic people around us, you know, people who don't listen or respect us, or, you know, they don't treat us well, they don't treat us normally, and we feel alone, we feel put down, we feel hurt, confused, sad, disappointed, maybe anxious too, when dealing with stress. And as I always say, it's natural to feel these feelings, and they have to be felt so that they can be healed. They're coming up for that reason, for a reason, that important reason, that they can be dealt with and released. But if there's a cycle that this happens over and over and over again, of course it's very very difficult to deal with that. But there is a way out, and I just say that the way out is just to always come back to peace, to always practice peace and love. maybe say a prayer or whatever your way is. Maybe affirm it, but you want to feel it in your heart. You want to be conscious and, you know, intentional about it. But anyway, if this resonates, if you're going through a time like this or have been going through difficult times, you know, I'm here to support you. And just wanted to say that I feel you. I feel you because I've been through those same things. And no matter how strong we are, because we are strong as empaths and HSPs, we are strong. But sometimes it can be hard to believe that we are strong. It can be hard to comprehend that we're strong. You know, if we're dealing with difficult people, difficult situations, hectic, busy days that are draining us out, and we feel like we are responsible for a million things, when we know that we should just take a break, take a breather, just step away, just maybe meditate for 5 minutes, for example, you know. But yeah, so it's a process. And yeah, if this resonates, I would love to hear your thoughts, your experiences about it. What have you been dealing with, and how you have been able to practice peace after narcissistic abuse experiences as you're healing. But it's just very, very important to acknowledge that we must not blame ourselves, and that you know, things can happen, and you know, what we can control is our own mindset, our own thoughts, our own lives, how we think about things. Those are the most important viewpoints where to come from, really, so that things are easier than self-care, self-love, self-acceptance. Coming back to peace and love, because that is the healthiest place to be.